Boom, we are live. What's going on, Doug Wing?
Hi, Ken. How are you tonight?
Dude, if I was any better, my name would be Doug Wing.
Hey, it's good to see you. That smile back on your face, and your health is improving, and that's awesome. It's really good to see you tonight.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's good to be seen. And you know what? I'm still having these little, oh, Doug, you need to go on your phone and share this, man,
Oh, okay.
to your page. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Just go to my page on your phone, Ken Walls, and share it out.
On Facebook or?
Yeah. Hey, Mercy. There's Rachel Blatt. Doug, that's my friend and client. She's a client of mine too that has the car carrier company.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I share that. I share it or what?
Yeah. Did you find this video on my page?
I did.
Click share and share to public.
Okay, I did that.
Yeah. Dude, we have a lot of people saying good morning, and yet it's not morning. It's evening. Jay Skinner is in the house. Skylar, what's happening, dude? So I put in the title conversation with multimillionaire Doug Wing. and I said, dude, I'm gonna put multi-million in there and millionaire in there. And he said, well, I mean, I guess I am worth more than 1 million.
Oh, Ken.
All right. So the first question I always like to start my shows out with people like you is, so Doug, what is your net worth? I'm just kidding.
I want to tell you something. There was a guy at church. He used to brag all the time. I mean, he would brag, and you'd say, "Hey, Tom, how you doing?" He'd go, and he'd look right at you, and he'd say, "I'm making 6 figures and having a lot of fun." And I learned in life that anyone who has to brag about or tells you how much money they have, they're usually full of baloney. Because I know a lot of wealthy people. Some of them are in the billions, and they never brag about it.
Did you say billions with a B?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know a couple of, one family that's they're billionaires, but you would never know it. I mean, they don't go around talking about it. They don't brag about it. And so,
dude, I brag about my 20s all the time. I know you're right. But I think here's the other thing though, man. Let me give you the flip side of that coin. May I?
Yes, sir.
The flip side of that coin is, I think if you've really made it, I think that you should tell people, like, hey, look, this is what's possible. We're here to talk about your dad and the book you're writing about your dad and his brilliance. And you guys, you worked with your dad and your and the family business, the Little Giant Ladder Company, for 40 some years?
Yeah, 45 years.
45 years, and build a $200+ million per year company, started from nothing and built this ladder company into the 3rd largest ladder company in the world. One rung at a time.
Yep. Yes, sir.
That's insane, dude. But now, are there only 3 ladder companies in the world, though?
No. That's, yeah. Not, there's more than that. But, I guess going back to your point is, my dad was never arrogant. He was confident, and he didn't show off or brag, but he did use what he had to help other people become successful, and he did teach people what it took to become successful and how he did it, for sure.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that because I've, my wife is helping you and Jeffrey Gittimer write the book. And I mean, I've been heavily involved, and you're one of my best friends in the entire world. You probably don't feel that way about me, but I feel that way about you.
Hey, but before we go any further, you got to say Scott Ricard because I like how you do that.
I know Scott Ricard is in the house. Scott, how you doing? We've got Jennifer Moran is in here too. Say what's up to Jen.
Hey, Jennifer. Yeah,
We have Larry Schneider in the house, Rachel Blatt. I mean, we got some hitters here, man. Jay Skinner,
you
Doug
got.
Wing knows how to use money and love people. Amen and amen and amen. So, your dad was a I mean, look, let's just can we be raw here and real for a minute? I mean, he was a little bit insane.
uh,
From everything I've heard, he was unbelievably intense in everything he did.
yeah, he was. He was. I mean, he was eccentric. He was. The current CEO of Little Giant always said, "Hal, you are and you'd say it to his face. It's Hal, you're a freak of nature, man. I mean, God created you, and then he broke the mold. I mean, there was only one Hal Wing." Um, but again, he was one of the most incredible and most dynamic and confident and hardworking guys I've ever met in my life. Yeah.
But it wasn't like he had a business degree from some fancy university or whatever. He didn't. I mean, he did it grassroots. By the way, what's up, Jerry Eisenhower? So he went grass. And if Jerry would have jumped on my live stream last night, he'd have seen me talking about this, that I wrote a chapter in his book, the CVC Success Journal. But Jerry will have to go back and watch that because that's not what this show's about tonight. So, but
Yeah.
he did grassroots. Your dad traveled the country, the whole United States, selling ladders, literally door to door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And go ahead. Go ahead.
He was a high school graduate, and he wanted to be an engineer, but again, my uncle passed away when we were very young, and my dad ended up adopting my three cousins, and so he was 27 years old. My mom and my dad were 27 years old, and they had 7 kids.
Jeez.
And so, out of necessity, they really had to. I mean, my dad. He said I became a good salesman. I had to sell my house, my car. He's joking, but
Yeah.
I mean, he had to feed 7 people, and there was no.
7 kids and 2
Yeah,
adults,
yes,
9 people.
so nine people. I mean, he had to
Jeez.
feed all these kids, and there was no turning back. I mean, he had to make it happen.
That's a
Yeah.
lot of ladders. By the way, everybody watching, you're going to all have an opportunity tonight to win this thing right here, a King Combo Little Giant ladder, brand new. It will be shipped to you to your home. You got to stay on here though, and you have to share this out. And there will be one other thing that I'm gonna have you do, but stay on because we're giving away a ladder tonight live on this stream. Somebody's gonna win a Little Giant ladder. So, but you've told stories about your dad was out selling ladders from his station wagon and sleeping on top of ladders. Like, was he literally sleeping on top of ladders?
Yeah, he had foam pads, those thick black foam pads, and he would have some ladders in the back of, and this is our family station wagon that we would call it was a Gran Torino, Ford Gran Torino, a green station wagon with, we called it the Woody because it had wood paneling on it. It was fake wood, but
oh my gosh.
And my dad traveled around in this green station wagon, and he also ate. He basically said, I ate fruit and cheese and crackers, and he could only afford to stay in a hotel about every 4 or 5 nights. And so he would sleep in his car. He would go in the mornings and the evenings. He would go to like a, what would you call it? A Circle K or 7-Eleven. And he would go to the restroom, brush his teeth, shave, use the restroom. In the mornings he would wash up, and in the evenings he would clean up, and then he would go back to his car. And he used to get woke up in the middle of the night by the police, and they'd say, you can't sleep here, So he'd have to go move, and he'd go to like the church parking lots and places like that, and
Jeez,
literally sleeping in his car over 300 days a year. How,
dude.
how many of us would do that today to start a business? I don't think very many would, but incredible drive. Yeah, something like that. Yep. Like the sports, what they call that, the truckster on
Yeah, the family truckster.
yeah, it was similar, very similar. And then the back seat pointed, you were sitting in the back seat and you were looking out the back window, at the cars.
Yeah, yeah.
So we
That's
could
funny, dude.
make faces at, people and things like that. But
That is hilarious. I just Googled it and found it. That's nuts, man.
yeah, in fact, one time they went after that. They went to vans. I mean, like first they went to this after the station wagon. They went to little Nissan pickups with these little toppets on them.
Yeah.
And one time, my dad and another salesman, they're coming out of a show, and they were in a van, and they got pulled over. There were two policemen, an older one and a younger one, and it's like midnight. And I think they were either in Vegas or New Orleans. And the policeman goes, "What's in the van?" And my dad goes, "Ladders." And the policeman goes, the older one said, "Well, whose ladders are they?" And my dad goes, "They're mine." And he goes, "Well, do you have any paperwork that shows that they're yours? Because we've had all these thefts, and if not, we're going to have to go down to the police station and talk about this." And he goes, "They're my ladders. I own the company." And he goes,
Right.
"You don't have paperwork." And so the other salesman said, "Hal, just show him the ladder." So they walk around the back. My dad does the presentation. He's going up and down, takes about 3 to 4 minutes. And the young police officer looks over at the older one. He goes, "These have to be his ladders. I mean, these guys, they wouldn't know how to do this." And
Right.
the funny part about this story is the young policeman had just, graduated from the police academy, and he ended up buying a ladder from my dad that night because he was doing painting on the side. And so
Wow.
at midnight, my dad had to pop the ladder out of the van, and he showed it to the police officers and sold one of them on the spot.
Now, did the ladders look like that King Combo sitting behind you back then?
No, they were so heavy, and they
Yeah.
were they were a lot different than they are now. But
Yeah.
so my dad, I mean, the ladders were harder to sell. And in the 70s, the 70s, when the economy was bad during the Carter administration, here my dad is driving around. You remember interest rates were like 18%.
Yeah.
And the economy stunk, and my dad was doing it. He was making it happen. He had to. There was no choice.
And that's what, because that's how I started my company. That's how I've survived, as you just got to freaking grind through it sometimes, and just keep going no matter what. And your dad was just the epitome of that. Like he just did nothing. He just didn't give up no matter what. He didn't give up.
Yeah, that's one thing I learned from my dad was that he had the most amazing confidence in himself.
Yeah.
No matter, I mean, there were times, I worked for over 40 years at Little Giant, and I'm telling you, people always think, "Man, you guys were doing so well," but there was times where it was pretty scary. I mean, we had increased competition, our patents were expiring, and people were like going to my dad and coming to me and my brother and saying, "Should we go look at, other places to work? I don't know if we're going to make this." And
Wow.
my dad was like, "We've always made it. I have no doubt we're going to make it. And if you guys want to go work somewhere else, that's fine." But,
Wow.
he just had this confidence that in his abilities, and he had that in anything that he did, whether he was running marathons or riding dirt bikes and racing. And,
But see,
just,
here's the thing is I'm sure he had that confidence, but there was probably still some gnawing thing in there, like, I want to believe, but are we really?
well, the one thing I really liked about my dad was he didn't show fear,
Yeah.
maybe deep down he's like, "Man, I don't know, but I can't show fear in front of my employees, right? I've got to
That's
stay
awesome.
cool, so that they remain calm and confident." And he had the ability to do that. He really did.
Wow. That's so cool. By the way, for everyone watching, we're doing a giveaway tonight. Somebody on this stream You have to be on here. So if you get on here and you want a shot, it's going to be somebody watching. So we are giving away this puppy right here. If I can get this thing to share, we're giving away tonight a Little Giant King Combo ladder. It will be shipped directly from the factory, Doug?
Yes, it will. Yeah, and it's exactly the one that's right behind me too. It's the same size and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. What is that? A 5 foot? How tall is that?
Yeah.
5, and it extends to
It'll extend up to a 10-footer.
10 foot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Those right there on the side, those little orange buttons you see up there towards the top, you push those in on both sides and that thing flips out and becomes an extension ladder. And I mean, it is freaking awesome. It really is an awesome ladder.
Yeah, the innovation in that product, that's one thing that Little Giant has done well over the years is we've never been the cheapest ladder. In fact, we've been sometimes 2.5 times more expensive than other ladders. But two things really served us well. One, the quality of the product. My dad just would not compromise on quality. And then the innovation that we put into ladders. People from other ladder companies laughed at us sometimes. They're like, man, this is a dumb idea. Why are you guys doing this? Nobody wants this. And then we end up taking market share. And then, they would end up copying us, trying to go around patents and things like that. And again, employees would always, a lot of times employees would freak out. They're like, hey, did you see these guys are trying to copy us? My dad would calmly say, hey, guess what, guys? The second these people quit copying us, we know we're in trouble. So I always say copy is the greatest form of flattery. And we know we're doing something right when everybody else is trying to do what we're doing. So he didn't sweat about it. He would just say, hey, let's we have confidence in our abilities, our products, and let's see what happens.
That's awesome. Teresa, no, the Grow Live Academy is not in the package tonight. We're going to alternate. Grow Live Academy will be in the next couple of days, maybe next week. I don't know. Make sure you hit that follow button and you follow us. Make sure you go over to Doug Wing's fan page on Facebook and like his page. And go to halwing.com. Halwing. You know what? Let me do this. You can go to dougwing.com. Let me just, since I already have that up there, we'll go with that. Dougwing.com. And make sure you're registered to receive notification for when this book comes out. Doug, tell everybody what the name of the book is, what it's going to be about, and all of that.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you, Ken. So, I never really thought about writing a book. And after my dad passed away, of course, I just grew up around my dad. I thought, oh, everybody's dad are like my dad. But
yeah,
Ken mentioned, no, you had, the guy started riding dirt bikes when he was almost 40 years old. And, he was crashing his brains out because he didn't know what he was doing. But yet, and guys were laughing at him that he rode with, but he's like, I'm going to beat these guys. And within 6 months, he was beating them all, it's just his determination. But, but as my dad passed away and I started thinking about it, and then, at the viewing and the funeral, people were coming up and telling you amazing stories about your dad. A lady coming up, your dad, I was homeless, your dad bought me a house. I mean, stories like that where you're like, holy cow. And again, he did all these things in total secrecy and without fanfare, without, he didn't want anybody to know he was doing these things. And he, at the company, just how he built people and helped people. And then you took people that nobody else wanted, they were, he took people that needed help and that needed opportunities, and that's what he gave them. And so after going through all these things, I thought this story really needs to be told. And so, got together with you and Jeffrey Gittimer and some other people that said, hey, you need to do a book about this. And so, started interviewing people, writing down. I mean, I have a lot of stories myself, just being around my dad and and so just started putting it together, and it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be called Giant Success, and it's going to teach people, anybody that is whether they have their own business or not, but especially entrepreneurs and people that have businesses, and people that work, in business, salesmen, anybody it could teach people in families how to be successful.
Yeah.
We're going to go through these certain core principles and values that he had.
How many of those is there 13?
I think it was 13 13 that we're working on. 12.5 or 13, something like
Okay.
that. So these principles and values of Hal Wing will teach people how to succeed in life, and how to get the most out of life, and how to help other people. A big part of it is building people and helping people.
Yeah. Yep.
He had this ability to know when people needed him, and he was always there. And again, as I mentioned, he took chances on people that other companies wouldn't, and he made them into rock stars. So
one thing because you and I've done a bunch of live streams talking about your dad and you, and the stories, and one thing I've never asked you that I want to ask you. Just occurred to me. So we talk about all of these people that your dad has helped, and that your dad, changed their lives by helping them, and they were able to work for him or whatever, right? How about people that burnt him? Were there people that burnt him?
Oh yeah.
Were there that he helped out and they burn him?
Yeah, he had over time he had some sales guys that left for greener pastures. That there were times when companies would come out and knock off our products, and guys would just pay it half the price, and they'd leave. And we had a distributor that did that one time, and we had
Tell
some
that
sales.
story. It's funny.
Yeah, so this was in we had a big distributor in the Bay Area. That was one of the early distributors of our company, and they were doing great. And then a cheaper folding ladder came out of I think it was China or maybe Korea. And this guy, they approached this guy, and it was probably half the price, or maybe even more than half the price less. And so he's like, in his mind, he's like, hey, they're easier to sell. I could sell more of them, and I'm going to switch. So this guy, his name was Phil James, and he's the one that told me this story one time. He said, your dad was a very good businessman, and he expected a lot out of us, but he was very forgiving. And so this guy, Phil, he takes the new ladders, he stops selling ours. And he said, your dad found out that I was selling these ladders. And he said, I got a phone call one day from your dad. And this is how it went. He said, I picked up the phone. Phil, this is Hal Wing. Oh, hi, Hal. How are you? Good. I understand you're selling that Chinese knockoff ladder, the folding ladder. Yes, I am. And he said, your dad said to me, well, Phil, I just want you to know I'm going to squash you like a bug. And he said, he did. He said, every show I went to, they were there.
Oh my God.
And he said, your dad crushed me. He goes, he had a higher price. His ladder was better. And he goes, I soon found out that, man, this guy, he buried me. And he says, 3-4 months later, I'm sitting in my office, and I'm thinking to myself, what am I going to do? What can I do? And he goes, I had this little thought in my mind. Hey, I think Hal Wing's a pretty nice guy. He said, call Hal Wing up and see if he'll give you your job back. He says, I dialed the number. I put the phone up to my ear, Little Giant Ladders, and can I speak to Hal Wing? This is Phil. And he says, 15, 20 seconds later, your dad comes on. Hal Wing speaking. Hal, this is Phil James. You squashed me. You squashed me like a bug, like you said you would. Can I come back? And he says, I'll never forget this. Your dad said, welcome back, Phil. And then there was a click. He hung up on him. And he said, but the one thing that was really neat about that is he says, your dad never, ever, ever brought that up. Ever.
Wow.
He said it was over. It was done. I was back on
Wow.
his good side. And he goes, I've been loyal to him ever since. And, he sold ladders until he retired as a distributor. And yeah, but he said, your dad was super forgiving, but he says, he squashed me.
Wow.
And he said he did what he said he was going to do. But he did.
But you hear the classiest part of that whole story is he never brought it up.
Yeah. He said he never brought it up again.
And he wanted to. He wanted to. Your dad's like, I want to rub it in his face so bad, but I'm not. I won't.
Yeah. He wasn't that way.
Wow. This book is literally going to change some lives. It's going to change. I just got a notification that we got a new Scott Ricard just went over to howwing.com and he subscribed. Well done, Scott. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
I'm pretty excited about howwing.com and Ken, you and your wife Jill were very instrumental in. Obviously, you all built the website, but it is really cool. And for those people that want to go to that, you'll see some really cool pictures of Hal in the early days at trade shows. I mean, the one where they have the entire sales team.
Here's the website. Can you see it?
Yeah, and that shows the current Little Giant facility right there with Hal and.
That's is the original on the website? I think it is. Isn't
Keep scrolling down.
Yeah. So everybody get a just feel that, breathe that in right there. That's the current location. Okay, yeah. We're gonna go down and see the first location. It's down here, right? Yep. Look at that. Is that your dad up there?
Yeah. That was on that ladder is called a skyscraper. 20-foot A-frame ladder, and then they had
that's a real ladder.
That's they sell a lot of those ladders, to like gyms, and a lot of times if you'll watch ESPN after like an NBA game or a college game, but there's a lot of those in the background where they're working on the shot clocks and stuff.
Thing is, how tall is that?
The ladder's about 18 feet tall, and then he's got another 4 or 5 foot extension on that clipped onto that thing. Yeah,
clipped on.
Yeah, it had these little brackets that would lock on. But
oh my gosh,
yeah,
that doesn't look like it's OSHA approved.
No, it's legal.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that I would never personally ever get up there. No way.
Yeah, so it should be.
Yeah, where is?
It's right
there. It is.
LGI. It was called Little Giant Industries at the time. Look at that car. Okay, look at that blue car right there.
Wow.
Now that building on the front part right there above the address, you can see there is 3 little holes in the building, and there's a screen right there. There's screens. There's a funny story about that building. We had bats that would go into those holes, and we didn't realize we had bats in there. And one time there was a guy that was walking around. He had a bat on his back, and he didn't even know it. And so,
oh my gosh,
what happened was when bats, I guess, when they're migrating or whatever, they go into there, and then at certain times they all fly out. And so we had to wait when the bats flew out. And then there was a guy named Doc Shell. He put that frame on there when all the bats flew out, and it had this mesh on there. And then all the bats came back, and they were trying to get in there, and they were just all over that building. They were just hanging on the front of that building.
Oh my gosh,
there were
dude.
Thousands of them. And that's how we got rid of the bats, was when they came out, he put that on there.
Where are you talking about? I'm not sure I know
where
you're.
Right above the address. You had it on there. You had your cursor on there, right up there. Keep going higher. Right there. Yep, right there. The bats were in there, and that is a frame that was put on there with a mesh so that the bats couldn't go back in there. That building, when I was little, I thought that building was huge, but it was so small, Ken, that we had to store the ladders in there. And then during the day, when we went to work and build ladders, we would take the ladders out and put them in the parking lot and they were already in boxes on pallets.
Oh my gosh.
There was no room to build the ladders. And then at the night they would put them back in.
My gosh, man.
Yeah, that place was a dive. We had these huge rats in there too. I remember my sister one time, she said, "Look at that little dog." And we said, "That is no dog, Michelle. Those are rats." Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. Are you kidding me?
So that building had bats and rats in it. Yeah.
Oh
And
my.
so again, that's how we started out. If we went from there and then you showed that other building, the other building was, is about 450,000 square feet, something like that now.
Is
So
it really?
yeah, it's pretty
So
big.
you went from that building with the bats to this building?
No, there was a couple other buildings in between.
Oh.
Yeah. So, that's a really good point to talk about is that, if you scroll back down to that, keep going down to that very bottom, Ken, you see that picture on the right there with all those employees right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that was at one point was all of the employees of the company, right?
Wow.
A big percentage of them. So we didn't have, again, we start off small.
Yep.
I remember when the company first did $1 million in sales. Everybody was so excited, and then then you go to 2 million, and then you go to 3 million, and it just keeps climbing. But it's a long. My dad always used to say, remember, when you're in business for yourself, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yeah.
And so people need to remember that in business is it takes years and years and years to build a business. Now, some of these .com businesses, they kind of pop up quicker,
Sure.
but I mean, as far as, a manufacturing company like we had, those take a long time to develop those. But yeah, there's a couple other pictures. You can see my mom building ladders right there next to the first sales team there with my dad.
Right there.
That's
Yeah.
my mom. And then that's my mom.
Oh, look at that. Wow.
And that was in the building with the bats and the rats. And then that picture next to them is where you see all those sales guys on there. Yeah, right there. That is my dad in the middle. And it looks like they all had Sansa-belt pants, matching pants and ties and shirts.
Your dad had an afro.
Yeah, the guy to the left of my dad, the one that's in really good shape, he ate fruit pies all the time, and we called him Fruit Pie. His name was Ron, but he just ate fruit pies all the time. But he was funny.
Wow, that's just unbelievable. These pictures, and to think what it turned into, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and what it is now. I mean, what it.
Yeah, incredible company.
It's absolutely incredible.
Of course, I don't think anybody there, even including myself, because I was, 10 years old when I started working for my dad. I don't think any of us had the vision of what it could become, but I will tell you, I believe Hal Wing knew what it was going to become, because when I was interviewing him, or when I was interviewing my aunt about my dad, she talked about a story when he was like 10 or 12 years old. And he told her one night, he said, "You see that mountain right there?" And this is in Springville, Utah. He said, "Someday I'm going to have a house on that mountain, and it's going to be overlooking the entire city." Now, for a kid who's 10 or 12 years old to have that kind of vision, right?
Yep.
Knew what he was going to do in life. He knew what he wanted to do in life, and unbelievable. Yeah. His vision, his confidence.
We're getting some subscribers on Hal Wing. And that's good, because if you've already subscribed on Doug Wing, it's not going to hurt you to subscribe on Hal Wing too. Just saying, just putting that out there. You may want to truck on over there, because to win the ladder that we're giving away tonight, which is a King Combo ladder, you have to be subscribed. You have to also be following Doug Wing's Facebook fan page.
Yeah.
To be in the, and really important part of the whole thing is you have to share this video out.
Yeah, Ken, there's a comment on there from Scott Ricard, and he says, "Is that you, Doug, in the yellow shirt with headgear on?" And unfortunately, yes, Scott, that is me, and that is an embarrassing picture.
Wait, where is it?
It's on there somewhere. Maybe, is that on the other one? It might be on Doug Wing. Maybe it's on this one. It might be on Doug Wing, but there is a picture of me building ladders, and I have braces, and I'm wearing a headgear, and I
Yeah,
look like that.
where is
It
that?
might,
I've seen it.
yeah, it may be on the other website, but oh, he said it's under opportunity.
Oh, hold it. Oh, it's under opportunity.
That's what he said.
Let's go look.
Oh yeah,
Right
there it is.
there. Oh my gosh.
Now look at also. Okay, look at me. Yeah. Now look at that picture to the right of me too. I mean, there's my dad in his business suit,
Good Lord.
um, with no helmet on, and he's riding a wheelie down the road on his dirt bike.
Wow.
Look at his face. Look how intense he is.
He doesn't. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But
What's
yeah,
the headgear? What is that?
those
Braces?
are when you had braces. Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
Dad, listen, I used to open bottles for my dad. He would just say, "Smile, open your mouth and smile."
Yeah.
I had buck teeth so bad he would open up his Pepsi bottles with my teeth.
Oh, stop. That is not true. Stop. Oh
So
my gosh. That is so funny. You
yeah,
know, this we might as well just go ahead and show him this. Talk about the opportunity. This is a poem, right?
yeah, yeah. My dad was pretty amazing. I mean, gosh, I mean, that you look at that poem and look how long of a poem that is, right? And he I mean, whatever he set his mind to, he could do. I mean, my dad played the piano by ear. He learned how to play the harmonica. Um, he he actually made a CD where he sang and yodeled on it. Okay, he taught himself. We lived in Germany
Wow.
for a while. There was just nothing this guy could not do. We have the CD of him singing and yodeling, and he could play the trumpet, he could play the piano, he could play the harmonica. Like I said, he
So
wrote poems. He did all kinds of stuff.
so this is his poem that he wrote called Opportunity. And
Yeah,
anybody can go to halwing.com, click on opportunity, and you can print this or you can save it to your computer or whatever. You can download it and have a copy of it. But do you want to read it, Doug?
oh, you want me to read the whole thing?
Well, you don't have to.
It's
This
pretty
is
long.
we're not in school. Like you're not going to be graded. This
Yeah,
isn't a pass or fail.
the yeah the basic message of this poem is,
Whoa.
how do you help people, and do you give them do you just give them things? Do you just shower them with things, or do you give them opportunity to develop their talents? And that's what that poem is. I encourage everyone to read that poem because it's amazing. And so that's really how people grow. And Hal figured that out. My dad figured that out.
Yeah.
There's my friend Nancy. But
Hi,
you know,
Nancy.
okay, Nancy, I got to tell you something about her.
Why she say you're her Hollywood friend?
I don't know. She thinks she always tells me I'm cute and everything, but
Ah,
so Nancy, okay, Hyatt Printing Company in Provo, Utah. They used to do our printing, oh, Gina works at Little Giant too, but yeah, she said read the last two verses. But
here, read the last two verses, dude.
okay, go scroll back up again.
Scroll up.
Okay, yeah. Scroll right there. You go, right there. Okay, so he says, let me get my glasses on. It says, but I now had found the answer sought when someone is found in need. To shower him with gifts and wealth is not the proper deed. The way to truly help one grow and taste of victory is to give him something he can use, give him opportunity.
God, that's awesome, man. That is so freaking awesome.
Unbelievable, huh?
That
Yeah.
is that is just freaking unbelievable. I got to do something with that. I'm gonna take that poem and make something really cool and have it printed and ship it to you, dude. Like
Thank
that, that is so amazing.
Yeah, so Gina Tibbetts was my assistant at Little Giant. She's still there, and I'm
She
telling you,
joins us all the time on here,
yeah.
doesn't
And Gina, Ken, you know how illiterate I am on computers, right? She did all my spreadsheets and all that stuff, and I would be like, I can't
now,
do this.
yeah.
My
Now
report.
I do them. Thanks, Gina.
But anyway, going back to Nancy, she worked at this place called Hyatt Printing, um, and I would go there and like proof brochures and instruction books and all that. And they didn't. This was back in the day when Clyde, the owner, she was downstairs in like this what do they call that? She would do all the proofs and everything. It was like it was pitch black down there, and so they didn't have a phone intercom system. And Clyde, the owner, would stomp his foot on the floor of the first floor, and she would come upstairs. That was how he paged her, because they didn't have an intercom system.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
He would do like boom, 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 stomp his foot, and she would come up, and she's like, "Oh, hi, Doug," But anyway,
wow.
So Nancy for a long time, but they did our first brochures, our first instruction manuals, and she's been really, really funny, but she
That's awesome.
She likes to tease me, but anyway, yeah.
So she's in there. She's in the Salt Lake area, I assume.
Yeah, she lives in Utah, and in fact, here's the thing that's amazing about my dad is he was so good with relationships and people, and I think I've gotten some of that has kind of rubbed off on me. But I'll go back in Utah, and Nancy and I'll go to lunch, and I mean, this has got to be, we've known each other for, gosh, 35 years.
Now you're giving away her age. You're not allowed to do that.
30 or 30, and she loves Elvis, right? She's really into Elvis. Yeah, so
that's awesome, dude. Wow.
Anyway, it's all, one thing, Ken, is I learned is from my dad too, it's really about relationships, right?
Yep.
My dad had amazing relationships with vendors. Now think about this. He had this philosophy where he would say to a vendor, if it's not a good deal for everybody around the table in meetings, it's not a good deal. Now, I'm telling you, most people in business, they try to take advantage of their vendors. They try to beat them up. They try to get more money out of them all the time.
Yep.
Distributors and all that. And my dad had the total opposite. He's like, hey, we're partners in this. It's got to be a good deal for everybody. And that's why he was so successful, was because he developed these relationships, and people were very loyal to Hal Wing. And I think that was one of his big secrets, was to long-lasting relationships, was with banks, with attorneys, with whoever.
And that's something that I know it's not on the same scale as buying somebody a house or buying somebody, I've heard stories of your dad being in the car dealership and bought that young couple a car, or paid for half of it or something. And all the other amazing things I've heard about. I feel like I know your dad. I feel like I know, because of all the stories that you've told me, stories that probably aren't even going to ever be in a book anywhere, but but you're doing, like, you've done, you bought a bunch of licenses for Grow Live Academy to give away. You bought, you're like, people like tonight, we're giving away one of the King Combo ladders to somebody is going to win. I mean, and ask Larry Schneider and some of the other people on here, a real physical little giant ladder will show up on your front doorstep, right? And so every time somebody goes to use I mean, I paid you for mine, right? I have the little giant King Combo. I paid for it, but every time I get on that thing, or I even look at it, I think of you. I think of Doug Wing. And that's the same with everybody else. You're creating these long-term, these just really solid relationships with people that have never even met you in person, but they love you. And it's kind of what your dad did. You're following in his steps.
Yeah, I try to do that. I mean, I served a mission in 1983 this is a good thought by Nancy.
Everyone thought Hal was the man with the golden touch. Everyone thought the world of him. Doug is a clone of his dad. Amen. Amen. I mean, I don't even know his dad, and I know that.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I was just saying, when I was 19, I went on a mission, church mission, and this was in 83 to 85, and I still have relationships. I still talk to some of these people that I met years and years ago, and dear friends of mine. Yeah, it's the key. It's the key to everything.
I literally was just having a conversation. There's a I was just invited earlier today to be a co-host on a really, really famous radio station, a radio show this coming Sunday that I'm going to go co-host a show on a radio station I grew up listening to. You know, it's one of the most famous radio stations in America, and I'm co-hosting a show on it this coming Sunday, and it's because of those relationships. What you're talking about. And I was telling somebody about, like, wow, I can't believe I'm going to co-host a show and with somebody that I respect and adore. And I think that, you know, I'm like, it's just, I know so many people and I'm friends with so many people, and that's what it's about, man. That's exactly what you're talking about. That's what it's about. Matter of fact, tell the story real fast, because I know this is a little bit of a longer story, but not too bad. Tell the story about your dad getting was it $1 million loan or a multi-million-dollar loan on a handshake?
Mm-hmm. And before I do that, Ken, I just wanted to say congratulations for this being on this radio show. That's great. And I did want to tell everybody that Ken, you've really helped me, because you remember when you said we're going to do lives. I mean, I was nervous, and I don't know if I did that great, but you have helped me, and the Grow Live Academy has really helped me to do this. So thank you.
Dude, you're killed. Like, now it's like you're natural.
Well, so let's go back to the bank story. In I'm thinking it was 1980 or 81. My dad sold the business and sold it to a big conglomerate out in California. And they didn't know this, but the guy that was running this business was taking all these companies that he had purchased, and he was sucking all the cash out of them. You know how Ross Perot talked about the gigantic sucking sound. Well, this is what this company did. And they they bought all these companies and then took all the cash out of them and bankrupted all the companies.
Wow.
So my dad sold his business. He got some money up front, not very much. And then he got mostly stock, which was worthless. So, you know, keep in mind, here's the ultimate risk taker again, and the gambler, and the guy that had the confidence. So my dad, we're out of work. We have nothing. And, you know, my dad could have went and sold cars or sold anything because he was a good salesman, but, you know, he loved working for himself and hiring people. So he walked into Central Bank in Springville, Utah, and walks in and talks to the CEO, Calvin Packard, and says, Little Giants no more. This is what's happened. I need $1 million to go to the sheriff's sale and buy the assets back to the company. And I need a building. I don't have any money. I don't have any collateral. I have always paid you back. I've always kept my word. Will you give me the money? And Cal Packard stands up and says, Hal, we believe in you. I believe in you. You've always kept your word. You're a man of integrity. This is the kicker. He says, I'm going to give you the money. No paperwork, right? No paperwork. He said, we will work out the details later, and we'll work out the whole entire payment plan later, but go ahead and go to the sheriff's sale, whatever money you need, you got it, we'll give it to you, and walks out, shakes his hand and walks out.
Now, unreal, man.
And one of the interview, the people that I interviewed was Matt Packard, who was Calvin's son, and he says, I still remember that story. That story is legendary. And he says, my dad believed in your dad. He totally believed in your dad. And try to walk into a bank tomorrow. You want $1 million. You have no collateral, but you're going to do this. You've got these grand plans, and I can't believe it. Yeah. I mean, and he got that on his word, on his integrity. They trust.
But that's the power of relationships.
Yeah.
It's also the power of doing what you say you're going to do.
Yeah, exactly. He had the relationships, but he also had the trust of that bank. Yeah. And they believed in him.
That's amazing. That is so amazing. By the way, everybody watching, I want to just real quick, I want to remind everyone that you have a shot, and this is going to be live. We're going to literally I'll call Doug on his cell phone and we'll decide who it's going to be. But tonight, somebody is winning this, a brand new Little Giant King Combo ladder. It will be shipped directly to your home from the factory. Doug is actually giving that away. Here's what you have to do. You have to share this live stream out. You have to go to howwing.com and get registered to be notified when the book launch happens. We're shooting for Hal's birthday, which is March the 5th, right, Doug?
Correct. Yep.
And then you also have to really would love it if you follow Doug on Facebook on his fan page, Doug Wing on Facebook under pages. Look up Doug Wing under pages and follow him there. So listen, I have this ladder. It is phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. I love this ladder. I use it for everything. So highly recommend that you do all those things. Get registered. Go over to howwing.com and get registered. Take you 2 seconds to do that. And then share this out. Takes another 1.5 seconds. You got 3.5 seconds invested in this venture, and you're getting I don't even know how much these retail for. 120, 100. I don't know how much are they. I have no idea. 150.
Pretty close. Yeah, that's right in that ballpark.
Yeah. So it's a phenomenal ladder, and it's an extension ladder. It's a 5-foot ladder, and those two orange knobs up there, like you see one of them, you can't see the other side, obviously. Up near the top on that silver, whatever that's called. Doug, what's that called?
That would be a piece of, I guess, just a piece of channel, or
there's no technical name for that.
The orange buttons are called, we call those palm buttons because you push them in with the palm of your hand. Yeah, okay. It's just bracing there on the ladder. Yeah.
And then that leg flips out straight up, and that becomes an extension ladder for 10 feet. Up to 10 feet. So go over and get registered. Taiba says, it's her dad, or his dad's birthday is March the 5th, if that's what you're referring to. March the 5th.
Taiba's got the same birthday as my dad. Yeah.
That's very pretty cool. That's
very cool. My birthday is the same as John Lennon's, which is, just barely happened here a couple of days ago. But
yeah. Happy birthday to you, brother.
Thanks, Ken. And you know what? Those brownies were gone in like one day.
You ate them already? Oh, dude, man. I was kidding. They're not non-fat.
Dude, I'm telling you, those are so addicting. And of course, I had a big glass of milk with them, whole milk.
And you know what? Those come from Utah. Did you know that?
Afterwards, I'd like to know where those came, because I want to get some.
No, I can hook you up.
Okay, well, you hooked me up.
It was your birthday, man. Yeah, look what Laura says. She calls them crack brownies.
Man, I'm telling you, there has to be something illegal in those.
Dude, you put them in did you put it in the microwave?
No, they're anyway. I mean,
you put those in the microwave for 10 or 15 seconds, and then the milk. Oh, it'll change your life, your entire perspective.
Thank goodness we only have one birthday a year, because if I ate those every day, I'd look like the Michelin Man. I mean, it would just be terrible, So
yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
So listen, all right, Doug, do you think we should go ahead and look, this is your opportunity right now. If you have not registered at howwing.com, go and do so now. We're going to call the winner here in just a second. So I say we wrap this thing up and we find out who the winner is. And what do you think?
I think, let's do it.
Brian Hess is in the house. What's up, Brian Hess? How you doing, brother? So we're giving away a Little Giant ladder. This is it, the King Combo. It's a 5-foot with an extension. It'll extend up to, you said, to 10 foot?
10 feet, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so so we're doing that here tonight. You are all you have to do is go over to howwing.com, register to be notified when the book comes out. The book is called Giant Success. Doug is writing the book currently. My wife is helping. Jeffrey Gittimer is helping with the book. it's going to be a life-changing book about how a man went from sleeping on ladders in the back of his station wagon, traveling the country, to becoming the third largest ladder company in the entire freaking world, and turned into what, over $200 million a year in business. Mind is blown by that. Those numbers, like, most people will never, ever see that because they just don't put in the work that somebody like Hal Wing is willing. I mean, he was willing to risk it all, man.
Several times he did.
I know.
Yeah, the confidence in himself and in his employees and in his products was just over the top. And in this book, we're going to teach you how to do it yourself. You know, how to apply those principles that Hal knew and used, and you can do the same thing. You know, we're living in America, the greatest country in the world. It's still, even despite of what's going on in our country right now, this is still a land of opportunity. So yep.
Look, Brian said 200 million a year. That's a whole lot. That is a whole lot of ladders.
No, that's a good point, Ken. We used to, you know, my dad went on QVC and like sold like 25,000 ladders in like 24 hours one day. And we're like,
crazy.
We're like, where are all these ladders going? But I mean, what's the population of the United States?
I know, but you still, how many people are going to buy a dang 25,000 ladders is a lot of ladders, dude.
Yeah. And you're like, man, where are all these ladders going? Right. And, you know, people steal them, they break, they, you know, whatever, they wear out. I mean, but yeah,
that's crazy. It's hard to even imagine. It's hard to imagine. But you know, that part of the deal though, and this is in the book, how you guys went from when the guy showed up to say, hey, you need to be on QVC and do the infomercial. It was the infomercial, right? And you went from doing 400, you were working one shift 4 days a week?
4 10-hour days, 3-day weekends for the guys, making 400 ladders a day. Yep.
And you went from that to 3 shifts,
24 hours a day, 6 days a week.
6 days a week, 7,000 ladders a day.
7,000 ladders a day, pretty much turned the faucet on. And to be able to pull that off, I tell you, for our employees, the people in production and and the people in operations, to be able to pull that off and to do it all with no debt is an incredible story in itself right there. You could write a book on that. I mean, incredible.
And
Ron Reiling was in the infomercial. Remember the guy that got up on the ladder and he said, I'm a little bit of a big guy?
Yeah.
That's Ron.
That's Ron. Oh my God. That's awesome. Yeah, Ron, it's great to have you here.
Yeah. He lives in St. Louis and he's a great guy.
So I think that, you know, what the other part that's incredible is, you know, you went from 400 ladders a day to 7,000 ladders a day, and they all pulled it off. Meanwhile, all the while they're maintaining Hal Wing's unbelievable high levels of quality.
Yeah, that in itself, because what they did was they took people with experience on the day shift, and then they made them supervisors and trainers on the other shifts. And to ask somebody to do a graveyard and swing shift, man, I'm telling you, that is tough stuff right there. And and the people, I'm telling you, at that time the economy was crazy good, and I mean, we were just looking for somebody alive to hire, right? I mean, Utah. The economy in Utah is always better than the national average, and at that point, we were just looking for people that had a pulse and that weren't on drugs, and just because everybody that was working at that time that wanted to work was pretty much working, and so that was a task in itself to get those things up and running, and think about ordering all the materials and the logistics of all that is just unbelievable.
Wow, it's incredible, man. So, Doug, you ready to pick a winner?
Yes, I am.
Let's okay, so remember, you have to be on here. If we come back and call your name, we always have a backup person, because if you don't say look, Brian said hiring somebody with a pulse sounds like what most I am telling you, I went through a drive-through the other night to get some food, and I wanted to go inside and sit down and eat, but their dining room's not open. I said to the girl, I said, why haven't you guys opened your dining room yet? We're in Ohio. This isn't California. No offense, but and she's like, honestly, it's because we can't find anybody to work.
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
are you serious? She's like, we cannot find people that want to work. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So Doug, I'm going to call you right now.
Okay, we better mute ourselves, right?
We have to mute. So, hey, if you want a chance at winning this ladder, make sure you stay on here. You have to be on here. So, Doug, go ahead and mute.
Oh, I got to mute myself as well. Okay.
I mean, I can mute you, but yeah. And cover your mouth. There might be lip readers on here. Hang on, I'm gonna call you. Oh, that was funny.
Yeah, I was telling Ken that I felt like I was the head coach of the football, NFL football. I was like,
Laura said, I think more than picking a winner is happening here. Well, we had to, there's some very technical things that occur on those phone calls, just so you know. So we have our winner, and Doug, Doug, you're ponying up the cash to get this ladder, so you might as well go ahead and be the one that blesses the winner by announcing the winner's name, and hopefully the winner is still on here.
it looks like they are. Okay, so tonight our winner is Colleen Koppenhaver. Is that how you pronounce her last name?
I have no idea. She changed it on me, so
I think
yeah,
it looks like
Copenhaver, I think maybe Copen,
maybe
Copen.
Yeah, like okay, yeah.
Hey, Colleen, how about Colleen? Congratulations. You are the official winner of a King Combo Little Giant Ladder. Woo! That's awesome. That is so awesome. Congratulations, Colleen. I know Colleen, and there's nobody. She's one of the kindest people in the world. She's amazing.
Yeah, and Colleen, if you can send Ken in a private message your name, address, shipping address, and telephone also for
telephone number. And James Barber, my brother right there. Look, Brian Hess says, where's the confetti? No confetti.
And We'll do some more of these for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we've done a bunch. That's maybe
Yeah.
the 7th or 8th one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, that's awesome. And Colleen is always here. She always shows up. So congratulations to Colleen and James Barber, my buddy who was Phantom of the Opera. I don't know if he needs a ladder or not, but hey, man, keep coming back. And he said, I'm a human ladder. Right, right, exactly. So, Colleen, yeah,
Oh, that's
you're
so
awesome.
nice.
She's a sweetheart.
Congratulations. Somebody said on there she just got a house. If so, she'll
She just bought one. I think she said earlier that she just bought one today.
Oh, excellent. She'll love the ladder then.
Yeah, she sure will. It is really, really nice. So, we will we're probably going to be back on here in the next few days doing this again. So, this and we still have a few licenses for the Grow Live Academy we're going to be giving away. So yeah, she said closed today.
Congratulations.
That's so awesome. Wow. And Doug, do you want to tell everybody who picked the winner? Wasn't me.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Nancy hopes to get an autographed copy of the book. I mean, you're going to have to know Doug pretty well to.
She will. She's the one that worked at Hyatt Printing.
I know. I'm just playing. I know.
She'll get one. Yeah.
I hope I get one.
You
So
get one.
I know. Anyway, I'll see the finished product before you see the finished product, probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm so excited, Ken. This has been a wonderful, for me, it just brings back so many good memories. And then also, I'm doing this really for cementing Hal's legacy, so people will know about Hal Wing, obviously, but also to share the things that made him successful with other people. And anybody can do these things. It's just that most of us don't think about those things, and we just don't do them. But if you apply them into your life, you'll be successful. No question.
And look, creating a $200+ million a year company. I realize there are billion-dollar companies in the world, multi, but 200 million is not anything to sneeze at. That's a big company. And that's a big number.
Yeah. You know what was amazing though, Ken, too? I just wanted to say this. When the company, the original Little Giant, he sold it and it went under and everything. And then he started it up again. I asked my dad one time, I said, man, weren't you afraid to do this again? It's a big risk. You took this risk. You were older. And he said, no. He goes, it was actually easier the second time. And I go, how? How was it easier? And he said, because I remembered all of the mistakes I made the first time, and I eliminated all those mistakes the second time, and I built the company even quicker that second time. And I thought, wow, unbelievable.
Wow. Look what Darren says. What? I don't know about this story. What?
Okay. Darren is a good friend of mine from high school, and he was unbelievable basketball player, 6'5", built like a truck, and could score inside, and he was unbelievable rebounder, scorer. Anyway, so he was good friends with a friend of mine, Brent Scott. That you want me to tell the story? It's the only time I got in trouble. Yeah, I was always
in trouble?
I wasn't that big of a trouble, but anyway, so Brent Scott, he was on the football team, and last day of school, he said, hey, let's go get some eggs. Let's pool our money together, get some eggs, and we'll just go and smash eggs and hit people and stuff, So we graduated and we're driving around in the afternoon. Well, it was the last day of school, so graduation hadn't happened that day yet, but we're driving around. We go to the grocery store. We get like over 100 eggs. We're driving around. I'm driving my car. Brent is in the front seat, and the chief of police's son, Jack Bowers, is in the back. Sorry, Jack. I know that your kids probably don't know about this story.
Yeah.
He's a bishop right now. Jack's a bishop in the church.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, Jack was just going along for the ride. Me and Brent were the ones that were probably guilty. But so Brent's, throwing these eggs and plaster, and people were laughing. And we come up and we see this guy, an older guy, talking to, just a regular car, talking to another, a kid or something. And so they're on this side, on my left side, right? I'm driving. And So Brent throws the egg over the car with his right hand, right? And just as he releases it, Jack says, "That's an undercover police officer."
Oh
So anyway,
no.
the egg comes and plows him right in the face and just
Oh
explodes in his face.
my God.
And anyway, so the guy jumps in his car and turns around, and he's an undercover policeman, and he pulls us over. And my friend Brent Scott, I should have hired him to sell ladders because he was so smooth. I still remember he's got a towel and he's wiping the guy's face, and, "Oh, sir, we're so sorry. We're just having fun and everything." So he says to Brent, "You're going with me. I'm going to your house to talk to your mom, and you guys go home. And if I see you guys outside tonight, I'm going to
Oh
arrest
my
you and put you in jail." And so anyway, Jack's dad's the police chief, lives right down the street from me, right close to me. And my parents, I don't know what happened. My parents never found out about it. And Jack's dad knew about it, but he didn't get us in trouble. But it was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. And Brent Scott just passed away. It was really, really sad. But
Oh wow.
yeah, he had went in for a surgery, and he had an aneurysm. The blood clot broke loose and went to his brain, and
Wow.
it killed him. But funny guy. I mean, absolutely funny guy. Yes, I did egg. We did egg a policeman once, and
Oh my
we lived
gosh.
to tell about it. But that was as much trouble as I've ever gotten into.
Hey Darren, I don't think that story's gonna make the book. Not this book, maybe the next one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, there's other ideas that we have. So
Yeah. Wow, dude.
funny
There's
story.
so many stories, and this book is, this book has all of these stories, but it also has, um, you know, like the principles and how you can apply them to your own life or your own business and grow and expand and every single story I've heard about Howling always yeah, Doug thinks he can beat me in a game of basketball, Darren. We're gonna find out. That the last time we were together, we didn't
Yeah, but
realize that we both had an obsession for basketball, and
yeah,
I
but
didn't realize how brave he was
yeah, but
challenging
you
me.
guys got to remember that Ken Walls plays with prison rules, right? There's no
What
foul.
the heck? Why would you say that, man? I know I didn't learn how to play in prison.
No, you told me, you said, "If you ain't on the ground bleeding, then it ain't a foul." And I'm like, whoa.
No, I said if you're not bleeding, it's not a foul. That's
Yeah.
all.
And so I know I'm going to have to get a mouth guard, Ken, because I don't want to break my
Hey,
teeth.
remember my little brother is 6'6" almost, and he's 6'5.5", and that's what I had to play against. So I had to play rough, man. I
Yeah.
had to learn how. I'm only 6 foot. I had to learn how to scrap to get any points on the inside, man. So
Well,
every time I went for an outside shot, it got
yeah, he swatted you. Yeah.
yeah.
But anyway, you were just saying every story you'd heard about Halloween. That's where we left off. But
Yeah. So, but every story I've heard about Hal has it all, like all of them are about how he helped somebody.
Mhm.
And I think I mean, that's kind of the theme I live by. I use the hashtag help others on almost all my posts, like help other people. And if people in this world would live like Hal Wing, man, and Doug Wing, it would be a much, much, much better world. I can promise you that. So
Well, there was, before my dad passed away, he would say this often, and I know he believed it, he lived it. He would say, "The things that I've been blessed with are not mine; they're on loan from God. And at some point, I'm going to meet my Maker again. I'm going to meet God, and He's going to ask me, Hal, what did you do with the things that I blessed you with? Did you use those resources and things, and obviously your talents as well, right? Your talents and abilities. Did you
yep,
use those things to bless the lives of others?" And I know that my dad will be able to stand before the Lord and say, absolutely, 100%, yes, I did.
absolutely, man. It's amazing. Well, dude, congratulations to Colleen Copenhaver. Am I saying that right,
Yeah, I
Colleen?
think so.
Um, Congratulations to you, Colleen. Make sure you send me your address in a text message or chat on Facebook or wherever, and we'll get you squared away. So, Doug, it's been fun, brother.
Ken, I do appreciate everything that you do and for me, and Jill does for me. You are a very dear friend of mine, and I have learned so much from you. I
Appreciate you, man.
You have really helped me to do many things that I never thought I would be doing, and I'm very grateful to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate you, man. I really do. You've helped us out a lot too, and very, very grateful for you, man. So thank you.
Thank you, mutual. Yeah, thank you,
All
sir.
right, everybody have a wonderful night, and you can still share this out. We've had fun, so thank you.
Thank
You,
you,
Doug.
everyone. Yeah, this has been wonderful. I mean, I appreciate everyone that's been here. Thank you.
Yeah. And you can still go register on howwing.com.
Did you see
So
what Theodora said, by the way?
where?
She's
Where?
she says OMG.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You guys got to start a Doug story show.
No, it's not that. If we do it,
Oh,
we talked about walls and wing. Yeah.
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 Yeah, we sure did. Aw, Theodora, we love you too. You're awesome.
She's great. Yeah.
She's amazing. Christopher Voss. Holy crap, that dude right there.
He's a good guy.
Look what he sent me today, dude.
What in the heck are those?
They're sour gummies
Are they like from another country or what?
from
Those
Michigan. They're called
Michigan.
Michi sours.
Oh, very cool. Does he know that?
I'm in Ohio. We are trained our entire lives to be enemies with anybody from Michigan.
Oh yeah, Ohio State, Michigan, big time rivalry. What
As a
does
matter of fact, when the game comes around that time of year, they take the M off of everything. Like
Oh, no.
you're not allowed to say, you have to say Ishigan.
Oh
You're
really?
not
Huh?
allowed to say the M.
Well, hey, everybody
Look,
know
Laura
that.
said Laura's from Michigan. She said kind of like another country.
Yeah. Well, Ken loves cinnamon bears, so somebody send Ken some cinnamon bears because he loves.
Oh, the chocolate covered ones. You said that they have them
They do in
somewhere.
Utah. They're from Sweet Candy Company out of Salt Lake City, and I need to. I didn't send you some this summer because I thought they're going to melt in the mail, but I can go up there this winter and get some for you.
And Laura there is right. The governor of Michigan is she's a dictator. No kidding. Yeah. And Chris Voss is he's a Michigan State fan. So
oh yeah, the Spartans.
yeah.
Magic Johnson. Yeah.
Yep. Cinnamon Happy Gummy Bears.
Magic Johnson. Don't I have a picture of Magic Johnson somewhere in my? Yeah, there we go. Larry Bird.
There he is. Yeah.
Wow.
All right, listen, everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for showing up, even if it is at the very last minute, Joe Ingram. Thank you for being here. So, and congratulations, Colleen, for winning a brand new Little Giant King Combo.
Yeah, thank you everyone for sharing this and supporting
the
book and everything. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
It's going to be fun. See you guys next time.